Hey, good evening, guys. I see two people on. We'll change my name here. This is Monica, not Jared. And we'll give it a few minutes for people to start logging in and allow me a little time to try sharing my screen too. But thank y'all for being here and just bear with me while we're waiting for more people to sign on and get going. Right, I see about nine of us on right now. If you're just joining, welcome and thank y'all for being here. It's only 6:31, so we'll give it a few minutes for more people to sign on. We are recording, so in case someone you know is messaging you or you knew they would make it in case they didn't read before, we are recording and we'll share it for everyone later on in case it's helpful for anyone. And if you're new to the team, welcome. This awards banquet is super important to the team, and it's the first time we're kind of highlighting it ahead of registration and ahead of the big important volunteering side of it too. That makes it all the more possible for everyone because it is such a huge event for the team and our tradition. So thank y'all for being here and taking the time to listen in. Again, we'll just give it a few more minutes and I will mute my microphone while we're waiting for hopefully more to join in. All right, I think we've given it enough time. I see a couple more people have hopped on. Let me just try to get my camera on and see maybe a few faces. There we are. Hi, I'm Monica. If I have never met you, welcome. If I've seen you around, and maybe don't recognize you all the time, hello, and thank y'all for being here. I will be your lead for the banquet. If you've never been here before with the team, welcome. And, tonight is about shedding light of the importance of this honored tradition. Let's try to maybe save our questions for the end of the evening. Or throw them in the chat and I'll try to monitor that on my own as we're going on. But the meeting should not be long. Again, if you were on and we were waiting for others to join, in case you know someone who's worried they're missing it, we are recording. We'll share the recording with everyone afterwards. And the hopes of today is our first time kind of shedding light on the banquet before sales open up tomorrow for registrations and tickets, is to shed more light and get people excited for this event. Not only is it an annual tradition, but it's a time to kind of gather together for such a big team that is really spread out throughout the whole year, at different pool locations, different practice times. It allows us all to join and celebrate together outside of, our kind of more relaxed Rod Fleming celebration. That kind of kicks off our year every year. So this is more of a formal affair, and it is. It's a nice moment if you've ever been to like a kid's your child's recognition ceremony. That's exactly what this is. And it is a little more formal because it's like a three-course meal at the Marriott, you know, clothed tablecloths, I'm sorry, tablecloth setting, nice silverware, but it's a moment for everyone to shine. And even if your athlete's not getting awarded, they get to look at those others around them and celebrate each other. So it's all the more reason important that we gather as many people as we can to join in on the fun and to learn more about it. So without going too much further into it, let's kind of look at our next slide. That kind of goes over tonight's agenda. In case you are not aware, this year's banquet is falling on Friday, April the 10th. We have moved up the start time. Typically, we start between 6:30 and 7. This year, we will do a beginning of 5:30 and we'll have two entrance times. I'll post more details about that tomorrow when I open ticket sales. But the reason for that is to not have so many people crowding our check-in at one time. And for those maybe with younger kids that also can't sit as long for such an event, that they can come in later. So the plan this year is 5:30 to almost 6, our seniors and their families, and our older kids, maybe even those that are getting dropped off, and those are always 13s and up. They're encouraged to come in first, listen to our senior speeches, kind of get the night going. And between 6:30 and 7 is where we'll pause for like a little intermission. We'll get to do some photos, take photos with those seniors that just had their speeches and coaches one-on-one, and then welcome in that second crowd. And around 7 to 7:15, we'll start our dinner. So that will be a new tradition that again I'll roll out tomorrow with ticket sales. But if you can help me talk about it, that's the reason for that change this year. And I think it might work nicely, especially for those really little swimmers, or for those that are working late. That sometimes is an issue. So we hope that this new start time will be good for everyone, as well as the two entrance times. But if you are attending, which we hope you are, please don't come any later than 7:15. That way you can find a nice seat, get acclimated where all the athletes are. Typically, they're in the center of the room. Again, if yours is really little and needs to sit with you, that's okay. There's tables all around the middle. and they can sit with you too. But dinner service will start sharp no later than 7:15. So that's a little bit about the date. We have brought it back to the Woodlands Marriott, second year in a row. The previous year we tried another venue, and while that was great, we really reach over about 300 people every year. And space is limited at a lot of other venues. So the Marriott works real nicely. And again, it is a little upscale, so it feels a little more fancy and important too, which is part of our tradition. Um, what, why, and how? So I think I kind of harped on that in the beginning of what it is. It is an important tradition to the team, to its history, and recognizing athletes' achievements over the year. Your attendance is very important for your athlete and all families. Even if you can't stay the whole time, please do try to come at least for the main event, which is starting around 7:15 for our whole team awards. And come recognize and celebrate whether it's your athlete or the athletes around them, and maybe join in on some raffles and silent auction fun too. Um, Registration and ticket sale details we'll get into later, as well as the award types and ways that you can get involved. Like I kind of mentioned in the beginning, um, this will not happen without everyone's help. And it's really, really critical that we meet beforehand a few times on Zoom. If when you break out into your teams, as much as y'all can meet before, to stay on the same page and make sure everybody's kind of pulling their weight within their team and it's not all waiting till the end, is very, very important. But we'll get into that as that rolls out on Friday. Um, Moving on, let's get to our next slide. So we're kind of going to go back to what I was getting ahead of earlier. Why it's important. It highlights our team spirit. It's a moment of celebration all together. It is an annual tradition. We do recognize our graduating seniors, as I kind of mentioned at the start time. That will start around 6 o'clock. So if you want to come see that, be sure to come in that first queue of 5:30 to about 5:50 for the start. And then those seniors will each get on stage, have a moment, a slideshow each, their favorite song playing while they approach the stadium and or the podium, and make a speech to their teammates, coaches, families. And you'll see fun senior boards that the parents will make of them. So if you see boards around, I think in the photo here you can't really see it too close up, but that's a really nice tradition for them too, um, to have those moments throughout the team or even on a swim team, kind of put into one. um, And then last but not least, the whole team accomplishment throughout the swim year. And when I say the swim year, this is something I didn't realize when I was a part of the first banquet, but it basically encompasses the last long course season. So 2025 long course all the way through the end of 2026 short course. So all these final champ meets that we just had, and then the tags and Southern Premier going on right now, it will finalize all through that from last long course. If your swimmer wasn't here for the beginning of long course, they just came in the fall, that's okay. They still have a shot at getting an award, whether it's a practice group award or an IMX award. We'll get into those award types in just a minute, but it is a whole team celebration. Um, this is kind of going on what we just talked about. If I didn't mention before, it does include a 3-course seated dinner. We sometimes have appetizers or like a display out with some, snack items before those hot items come out. We will have a bar for the adults. Ticket sales will include for sodas and bar items. Pre-sales are always your best bet at getting the best bang for your buck. Same for those raffles. Same for the raffle tickets. But we can dive into that in a little bit. Um, I think we've talked about all of this last long course through this short course. And this bottom note, especially for our younger athletes, um, I'm a mom of a swimmer who maybe isn't the most accomplished. He's growing in his accomplishments, but it is so rewarding to see him marvel at the accomplishments of his peers and say, "Hey, mom, I'm going to do that next year," or congratulating, even congratulating the peers around him and recognizing that, wow, they've done a lot, and motivating too. So it's really nice all together, and all the more for us to be together, as a whole team. So all the more your attendance is important. Going back to the ticket sales and registrations that will launch tomorrow online. Um, each competitive athlete has an included ticket. That's part of the team registration cost, that that figure that we all paid to join the team, each fall to renew our membership. That does include a ticket for your competitive athlete. Now, everyone else attending will need to purchase their own ticket, and you will have to register your athlete under an athlete ticket online also. It doesn't automatically put them in because they're an athlete. We have to get those registrations physically. Although your athlete will not be charged a fee when checking out, we still have to have that registration input for accurate numbers, seating, food, the works. So it is really important to register. This year, I'm thrilled to have an early bird pricing that I'll dive more into, in just a moment, that will maybe help families get there and also help our volunteers to organize this, a little bit more in advance and not so last minute. So please, please, please don't forget to register your athlete and yourself and your loved ones, through our events page. Again, that will roll out tomorrow, and I'll send an email with all those details. So be on the lookout for that. And then this is where I kind of dive more into, the bird tickets. They do open tomorrow, the 5th, and they will end on Sunday night at midnight, the 15th. I do realize that we're going into spring break. That will be a perfect time to jump on the computer before you leave, while you're there, while you're having a moment. Oh, register, message your friend to register, help remind each other. I'll try to send email reminders as well. But that gives about 10 days of early, discounted pricing for those that need to purchase a ticket. And then we'll add in 15 raffle tickets per household that registers early in that window also. Um, Most importantly, and our this early bird sale helps everyone volunteering and organizing the event, in the sense that we will get a really better idea, of how our preliminary food count, seating arrangements, decor, you name it, everything revolves around these registrations. So I can't stress enough, register early. If you know you're attending or one of you will attend, register, register, register. Help remind those around you to register, and register early to get that discount as well. We will increase our prices starting Monday the 16th, so don't be late. Think I jumped ahead there. Sorry about that. And then we will close out all pre-sale tickets on Wednesday, April 1st. That will be the absolute last day that you can purchase tickets online. I will give all of our volunteers, handling registrations, all the final numbers on the 2nd, and I will not be able to accept any more. That is just how it's going to be. We have to give our vendor account, and that will be within the week window of our event. So that really puts a lot of pressure on not just our venue, but also our volunteers. So please, please, please don't register after, don't hope to register after April 1st, because you will not be able to. You will be able to walk in, and we will certainly welcome you with open arms to be there. But because we have to give numbers to our venue and we will have limited amounts of extra seats and meals. We can't guarantee that you will for sure get it, depending on how many walk-ins come ahead of you that day. So please, please, please register early. Help us all out to make this a smooth and all the more enjoyable evening. Um, and then let's just quickly dive into awards. What kind of awards are there? If you've never been, you certainly don't know what to expect. You'll see in this photo here of Coach Jared, some of our former coaches too. It looks like Coach Ken is there and our award recipients. Everyone is dressed in their Sunday best, if you will. Definitely, guys, you don't have to have a jacket, but at least wear a nice buttoned shirt, some nice pressed pants, even if you don't have slacks. Just try to come nice, feel nice about yourselves, your athletes around you, and take a moment to shine together. So that kind of gives you the tone there. This right here is a senior board table. It shows how senior boards were made a few of our award banquets ago. You can see they're a little inconsistent. That's because we didn't have the parents making them yet. Now that the parents are making them, that has changed a lot. So I think that that will be the way we'll go with that from here on out. And back to the awards. So we start off, I think every year we start off with our group awards. Now we have 11 swim groups, and in each swim group, there's two categories: the most improved by practice group and the best team spirit in that practice group. So that is 22 awards already for that beginning ceremony. Typically it is in the beginning. Um, and that's really fun to watch. IMX awards, that's that point system. Most coaches do touch on that. I don't know how firm they are in the foundations groups about it. But the higher your athlete goes, the more they get serious about that IMX. And that's something that your coach can further explain to you if you have questions. I really don't want to be the one to misinform anyone on it. But that's a really nice one too. And there are Coach Jared reminded me when we touched base about this, there are always more IMX rewards outstanding than anything else. We don't get all the athletes there that we wish to get there, and then they just sit there in their little file, and sometimes they don't even know they have one because they're not checking their file regularly for their awards. So just imagine getting there and your child getting that award, and being surprised and honored, and getting to get on stage to get that award from their coach. So that is a big one, and we really hope to turn around the people coming in, the athletes coming in to receive those awards this year. The last awards that we'll cover are the top 10 in Twist history, team records, and national team for all of Twist. Again, seniors are recognized this year at the beginning of the ceremony, and they'll have their own set of awards too. But as all team awards, these are the main awards that we will cover. So it is a lot of recognition all around. And once that's done, there's some dance time. There's always dessert, a fun time for everyone. And like I mentioned in the start, volunteering is essential. We cannot make this, any meet, any home event possible without your help. I will lead all of our volunteers, and I really like to emphasize the importance of meeting all together on Zooms throughout. If you're not able to join the Zooms live to ask questions and participate, at least please watch them. Communicate within your teams if you're on our volunteer teams, because it's really unfortunate when we get there and it's obvious the teams that are missing that one or two player, and then that extra work is falling on the parents actually showing up all the time consistently. So if you are joining us, thank you ahead of time. Again, your hands in this are critical and essential to the execution and the overall experience for not just our athletes, but all of our families and coaches. But please work within your groups ahead of time, on time, and at the event. Communicate, and plan ahead, to make sure that this is a success all the way around. I wanted to kind of dive into the main categories, and what kinds of roles there are. I think one thing I didn't write here is that you can apply whatever banquet credit you work. We can backdate it to short course. So say you're someone that didn't realize, oh my gosh, I was missing 2 short course credits, but banquet is in April, right? April will reset our long course credit requirement into 3 per household. We'll basically wash the board. And within April, the system bills for those unfulfilled short course credits. Now, if you get billed ahead of banquet for those 2 credits that you missed, don't worry. As long as you're involved through and through with your commitment to banquet, I will backdate those credits and refund whatever fees were collected if they were collected on your account ahead of time. Sometimes we can catch it ahead of time. Other times it's system generated and I can't, but I will be able to backdate it for you and refund it from there. So that's important. I'll add that note here before I post this to everyone tomorrow. Um, and also offsite versus onsite. While we do have some offsite roles, they're really limited. In about 30 roles for banquet outside of myself and like an event lead, a decor lead, I mean. Um, we have about 3 to 5, so just one handful of volunteers that kind of do the work beforehand. That's mostly with like our slideshow, our program, creating it, gathering information, printing, preparing it ahead of time, and also some of our tickets people, the registration side. So it's really not the majority, it's the minority are offsite. Um, if you cannot attend the banquet on site for the entire night, there are some on site roles that just involve decor. While you have to be there ahead of time to make sure it's set up, you can leave and come back and pick up with your group. Now, if you don't come back to pick up, I won't be able to issue your credit in full. And you will need to please tell us this ahead of time. We don't want to run into any issues with the venue, and make a bad name for ourselves that we're still struggling to get out of there on time. The event starts at 5:30 and we have to be out of there by 10 o'clock. Um, so please know that if you can't get an offsite job, but you really can't be there throughout, if you land that on-site job that's just kind of helping prep and tear down, you must fulfill your requirement or at least communicate what part of it you cannot, ahead of time. Again, that's part of not letting your team down. And then in the end, causing a little bit of chaos to the event itself. So sorry to kind of steer off course on that side. The majority are on site jobs and they're in about 3 teams. So one I can dub like the decor team, they'll work on the tables, the awards and senior boards. The second team is more of like the audio visual where they're doing the slideshow, prepping the music and or running that throughout the banquet. We also do the printed banquet programs. And then the third team is ticket sales, registration, and entries. Um, and then sponsorships and monitors. While we do have just a handful of event monitors that are that are kind of flexible jobs, they will step in and help with ticket sales if needed or our raffles if needed. The other side is more into that, whether you're selling tickets, selling merchandise, helping with entries or registrations. That's where that third team kind of falls. So you can see it's an army, and I will launch those jobs Friday, not tomorrow. Tomorrow will open ticket sales and Friday will open those banquet jobs between 7:30 and 8 p.m. Not right at 7:30, maybe not right at 8, but somewhere in that window. So just be patient, be diligent, look for that sign up through the banquet event page in your Twist profile. And be sure to read descriptions before signing up. If you accidentally sign up for something that you can't commit to, you can always release it and just communicate that if you need to, if you're having issues. And then everyone that does sign up, please, please, please plan for a mandatory volunteer Zoom within the first week we're back from spring break. I'll send an email out to everyone with those details and times. But that way we can all get familiar with each other's faces, with what roles you've signed up for and those around you, and make any changes needed and communicate any other, needs ahead of time or questions. And then always comes this question, okay, if I'm a volunteer, do I get a free entrance? Well, unfortunately, because the price of that three course seated dinner is not inexpensive, um, especially in our economy right now, we cannot do that for all 30 volunteers or however many are on site. But what we can guarantee is at least that early bird ticket pricing. What I've discussed with Coach Jared this year is that basically what will happen, depending on our total attendance and the price per ticket that it comes out to be, whichever is cheaper, whether that's that final ticket price or this early bird pricing, that's the price we'll honor for our volunteers that have guaranteed their ticket. So if you overpaid by $15 and we get a $15 discount from that early bird price, we'll refund that to you. So that's our promise to you for your commitment to our team and the success of the event. Um, and last but not least, I want to give everyone a huge thank you that is considering to volunteer or that will commit to volunteer. I look forward to this event every year. I love hosting events and I love this event the most, even though it is the most work. It's just really a nice celebration for everyone. And a really nice recognition of those that maybe you see leaving practice to and fro, but don't get to, realize, okay, why am I seeing them at so many races, or why am I seeing them at this practice and this practice? Kind of helps you put it all together and get more familiar with coaches, with families around you, and athletes to celebrate together too. So thanks in advance to y'all for helping. That will help, for being here again. And I guess now I'll kind of open up the chat, and or if you want to raise a hand, if you have any questions, I'll kind of cue you based on what name I'm seeing. Let me see if I can expand this. All right. Anybody got any questions? All right. Rabina, I see you. Daniel, I see an iPhone. Yun, Adriana, Andrea, another Andrea May. Yun, another Daniel. Thank you all for being here. And I guess if that's it, I will stop the recording and our meeting. And again, look out for registrations to open tomorrow. Help us spread the word about early ticket pricing, early bird sale starting tomorrow through, what was it, Sunday? That's the 16th. And then Monday the 17th, it'll reset into that next final price. And then Friday, look out for jobs to open in the evening between 7:30 and 8. So I think that's it. Thank y'all all for being here, and some of you for returning to hear more about it, even though I know you've helped with Banquet before. It's nice to see some familiar names here. Hi, Daniel.
Right. Thanks, Monica.
Yeah, thanks so much. Everybody have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye, Monica. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Andrea.